How's things?
What's up?
Oh. How you doing?
I'm alright. How are you?
I'm doing good. Just a bit late. That's...
Yeah, it's okay. I'm patient.
But hey, these things happen. Young lady, what do you need?
Well, gosh. Let's see. I have a lot of questions. You know, I feel like, well, how about this? Did you ever do any fasting when you were a fruitarian before you ever even thought about...
I'll tell you what. We'll do it like this. You tell me what you need, and I will try and advise you the best way to get there.
Okay. I have a really hard...
That's going to be the best, because asking a bunch of questions about me just going to drain me.
Yeah.
Drain the hell out of me. So, what is your specific issue that you need help with?
When I fast, I get really weak. Now, of course, this is to be expected, right?
Uh-huh.
So it's mental. You have to push past that, I guess. Do you think it's mental?
When you fast, you get weak?
Yeah. I mean, that's physical, but if you push past that, don't you get past the weakness?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
But you know that, right? You already know that.
Well, I haven't gotten past the weakness because I break.
Right. When you fast, especially like in areas of your solar plexus, you know, you're doing an immense amount of cleaning, not only on a physical level but on a emotional.
Yeah, that part's hard.
We don't really take into consideration the amount of energy it takes, the amount of energy emotional purging takes up.
Oh, yeah. I didn't think about that.
That's why, you know, your organs, they say organs hold your emotions, like your liver holds your anger and stuff.
Right.
Well, that's true, and we really don't take into consideration the amount of energy it takes the body to purge the emotions from the organs. So that's more of a fasting cleanse when you reach the point, because you know when you fast, you shouldn't really fast when you just start going raw. You should fast later on down the line. Fasting is more of an advanced thing, you know, when you've cleansed from the solid waste.
Yeah.
That's when people should fast. But generally people fast too early, and they get into all that, and then the body tries to shut down and do deeper cleansing, but it can't shut down because it's already got solid waste in there. Once the solid waste gets, it's like being in a underground tube train station, it being packed with people, and then they shut the gates with the people underground, still underground. You still have people there, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like us, when we fast and we still have solids, then you know the body goes into shutdown mode, trying to get rid of the emotional stuff, but it still has solids, and then the solids stay rotting in there, and then causes more mayhem. You know, because it's recirculating in the brain, and you get more depressed, more detoxy, more irritable, more angry, more problems, more stressed. Then we create all these stressful situations for ourselves, you know, thinking that something's wrong and we need to do this, we need to do that, and we start listening to other people. All these kind of problems arise like a chain reaction, you know. So, I mean, to answer your question, yes, the body does get tired, and it's at any level of cleansing, the body's going to get tired, and we need to respect that, and we need to work our way through it through various means, you know.
Like, what would you suggest? Because I fasted for like 6
Whatever,
days
you
on
know,
water.
whatever comes your way, whatever the universe brings to you, is your personal way of dealing with it. You could cleanse, you could do more cleansing, you could...
when you say cleansing, do you mean like saltwater flushing and stuff like that.
Whichever things come your way, whichever methods of cleansing that you like, whichever that grows on you, whichever, because everyone's got their personal thing to deal with, you know, their personal issues. I didn't have much in terms physically, you know, to get rid of, so mine was quite straightforward, but other people may have adrenal problems, other people may have this problem, that problem, so it really, this is why asking me questions doesn't really work, because we all have our own things to deal with.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have adrenal. I know I have thyroid, but I think it's related.
Yeah, so you really need to kind of figure out the adrenal stuff, what you need to do, or what you feel you need to do to combat that, because that's a whole nother ball of frustration. Because that's hard to recover from, and people never see any results with that. All the people that I've known with adrenal problems, they are always massively depressed because they never see any light at the end of the tunnel.
I know, but my theory is that it's always because there's food in the way. That's why I think if I fasted if I really put my willpower into fasting, then you would see healing, like if you take the food out of the way.
Well, who knows?
I don't know. Yeah.
Who knows?
Because
I think the body needs to heal first. It needs to heal first before it can even think of detoxing. And it's kind of a push-pull thing, because you know you need to heal first before you can detox properly.
But how do you heal until you detox?
Makes any sense? Exactly. So it's kind of an inch by inch thing.
Yeah.
That's why it's so personal, because it's kind of an inch by inch thing, and you have to, you have to ask the universe, you have to ask your higher self to bring you help, to bring you ways, to bring you solutions, and you have to follow your intuition. Instead of trying to plan, instead of trying to guess, instead of asking other people, you have to kind of ask for a team of helpers to guide you through, and because it's no, I've not seen any positive results from people just asking around. I've not. There's because nobody knows what the hell they're talking about, including myself.
I know exactly what you're saying, because you can't really follow
somebody
else's intuition. You have to follow your own.
Exactly, because it's you.
Right.
Because it's you. I know nothing about your medical history. I know nothing about you. So asking me questions or asking what I went through is no of use at all to you. Waste your time. So the only thing that I've seen results in is when you ask the universe. I know it sounds corny, but when you ask the universe.
I've been saying the universe since I was like, I don't know, 8.
Right.
I've been using that word.
You ask the universe for your solutions, for what you need, and you use your intuition. The whole fasting thing is great, but you have to be careful with fasting. You really have to be careful with fasting. If anything, I always say, Liquidarianism is a good way to start. It's a good way to start a healing process.
Right. Well, when I say fasting, I mean fasting on water, because for me personally, I have an easier time.
Even fasting on water. Even fasting on water, you have to be careful.
Like if I drink juice, I feel worse than if I drink water. It's weird. It's like mentally I get more, I don't know if it's like the taste of the juice that makes me want to eat more or something. I don't know.
No, that's just addiction. That's just your addicted mind. That's just your addicted mind playing with you. Because it's getting a taste.
Exactly.
You stretched it so far beyond its limits that it will take any taste it can get, and it will use any way to get bigger portions, to get back to being solid.
That's why it's easier for me to do water.
Well, that's something you kind of have to work with. You kind of have to grow some balls and deal with it, because that's another lesson you got to get past. So you could kind of see that as a test, and you're trying to avoid a test, but you can't get further unless you pass that test. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You have to learn your lessons.
The thing
You
is,
can't, and you can't avoid these lessons. You can't get any further unless you deal with these lessons. You have to deal with your mind. You have to. If you don't deal with your mind, it's going to continuously mess with you. It's almost like you have to train your mind. You have to gain that discipline over your mind, because, you know, it will play games on you. It will use every trick in the book to get what it wants, or needs, or thinks it needs. And it will take, you know, when I got to the stage of when I was on water, you know, my mind was even playing with me on water. And water has no taste, but it was so desperate to fulfill some kind of conditioning, you know, to have something. So you have to work with that and take it for what it is. And you know, because what you say gives a wrong impression. When you say fruits, you feel worse. You don't feel worse. You just have to do hard work on your mind.
Oh yeah, I mean it's been about a month now that I've been mostly fruits and some greens, but I went back to, you know, like I did a little experimenting where I had an avocado and it just drained me, and like you can see the big difference.
Yeah.
And so it was actually more powerful to eat it again after not eating it for a while, to realize how bad it is, how bad it does make you feel. I mean, but I mean, I'm to the point where like almost anything that I eat drains me, and it's like my intuition is like just begging me to fast, but my problem is mental, not even physical mental. It's more like, you know, like how am I going to pay the rent if I'm too weak to go to work, etc., etc. You know, it's me not trusting.
Well, that's your lessons, you know, because you know why? Because somewhere along the line you skipped your lessons. You skipped your lessons, you've done what everyone else has done, and you've tried to find the easiest way. You've asked other people, oh, well, I'll try that, I'll try this, and someone says this, so I'll do that, and that sounds good, okay, I'll do that. Instead of going with your intuition and going through the feeling bad process, which you must go through, because it's your learning process. That's how you learn your trade. If you don't go through that learning process, that feeling bad crap, you're not going to get to the next part. You're going to have to keep butting your head against a brick wall and coming back, being dragged back.
Yeah.
Because this is an evolution.
Right.
It's an evolution. It's not something you can pick and say, right, I'm going to go Liquidarian, or I'm going to go Fruitarian, or I'm going to go Breatharian. It's an evolution, and you have to evolve. And what most people do is that they don't take the time. They don't take the time to evolve. They try and pick at it like it's well, I'm having a book published, or this French publisher wants to publish my book. But the first thing they said to me was, we need to chapter your book. And I said, no, I'm not going to chapter my book. I'm not going to number my book. They said, why? I said, because people are going to skip to where they want to get to.
Yeah.
And they're going to miss out on valuable information that they need to know along the way.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think they're sussing that out, and they're kind of understanding that, because I said, if I have to chapter my book, then I'm not going to get it published by you. And they said, oh, well, we didn't say that. You know, so basically, it's the same. People will not take the time to devote to going through their lesson learning or passing their tests. It's like in the book on how to go Breatharian, I sectioned it off by putting the Liquidarianism tests I think it's test 2, Fruitarianism test 1. You have, within those compartments, you have all these lessons you have to go through. If you miss out on any of them, you're going to have to come back, do it again. And it sounds really cheesy, but it's a fact. It's an emotional fact. You have to do this, because you'll find problems along the way. You'll find cracks along the way that you wouldn't have had if you'd have taken the time to deal with everything beforehand, when you were supposed to, when you was getting those signs, because these are all signs for tests that you have to master. You have to master these things. And if you don't listen to the signals, you're going to miss them and see them as hindrances, see them as problems. So instead of dealing with them, most people put them under the rug. Think, now that's out where I don't have to deal with that.
Emotions right now is what you're talking about, right? The emotions that come up.
They're illusions.
Yeah.
They're not really emotions, they're not really reality, they're just toxins inside you wanting to come out. And they're organizing your every thought pattern. You get rid of the toxins, you get rid of the emotions, the negative emotions, all of a sudden they vanish and you realize, oh, damn, that was a complete illusion. I've seen people in relationships split up because of the illusions, because they were both going raw, and instead of coming to an understanding, they both jumped into this whole raw thing. This happens to a lot of relationships, but I'll just take one just for a random scenario. They both get into this raw thing, and they jump in there gung ho, thinking how great everything is. Then they get into detox, and they have all these illusions, and they start picking up things that they see in each other based on their detox symptoms, and they take it as like it's real. You know, whereas before they didn't give a monkeys about what they saw in each other, because they loved each other and everything was okay. They didn't have these raging toxins. But all of a sudden now they have raging toxins, and they don't know about cleansing, they don't know about the process of detoxification. They weren't warned about anything. So now all of a sudden they're on the verge of breaking up, because they just hammer and tongs at each other because of this illusion. And I've seen people, single people, I've seen people talk about, well, all of a sudden I went raw, and all of a sudden I'm detoxing, and now I'm getting all these family things coming up. My childhood, I'm thinking about my dad, how much I hate my dad. And it's all an illusion. It's all an illusion. It's funny, it's how we visualize toxins. That makes sense. It's like if you're nearly asleep and you're just about falling asleep, and you start dreaming about being kissed passionately by a man, only to wake up and find out that the dog's licking your face. You know, it's like how we interpret things. The mind interprets things, and I've learned that, you know, when you have toxins raging through you, your mind kind of interprets these toxins in images, and these images can seem like old things, old flashbacks.
Maybe
it's really strange, you know, if I'm explaining it right, but the emotion,
like what you were going through when you were picking up
toxicity,
like your child.
Yeah, so you know, it's things like that. So if you're going through emotions now, on a personal level, I would say don't just blast through it. You know, because you really have no choice. At the end of the day, you can either just quit there and just accept them and just hold your hands up and say I quit, or because they're not going to quit. The emotions aren't going to quit until you have faced your lessons and until you've cleansed everything out of you. It's just the process. You can't skip a step of it. if you're not clean, you're going to go through some shit until you are clean. It's as simple as that, and you're going to go through. That's why I try and say in my work, you are going to go through shit you've never been through before, that you probably can't even explain. But as you know, it won't quit until you've learned your lesson and you've cleansed and your body's clean. It is a process, and nobody tells you it's a process. They always tell you they have some secret method to counteract everything, but it's a process. There are no secrets. It's just hard work. That's how you do it and stay consistent, by putting in the work. A lot of people that do these programs or methods, it's short term. It's short term because they're excited about the energy and they put energy into it and they're excited about it. And once the enthusiasm wears off, they realize that you know what, I still have to work. And that's what you have to do, Crystal. Regardless, I can't tell you how many times I felt like, damn, I wish this was over.
I know.
I can't, there was, times where you're just flat out exhausted, and it's been so long that you've been flat out exhausted. You feel like you cannot lift another finger to get out of bed. You don't want to get out of bed, and you think about all these illusions going on in your head about life, society, and everything else. And then you see how happy people are, going about their daily lives, eating cooks, eating McDonald's, eating this, that, and the other. And then you're flat out, can't even move, don't want to move, exhausted.
Yeah. Well,
I can't tell you.
I mentally am around, I feel like people who look happy really aren't. They're just stuffing the pain down, and dealing with it is harder, but it's more worthwhile. It's challenging, but...
So what's your problem?
Well, my problem is, obviously I'm still very toxic, and so I'm going through, I'm still in, even with fruit, gosh, it's easy to emotionally eat,
It's given to eat emotionally, because your mind wants it's fixed.
It wants relief from...
Fruit is nothing. And you notice about my work, I always say fruit isn't even for us.
Yeah, I agree.
This mind of ours just wants its fix.
I know.
It has to have something, and it knows you're not going to give it. It knows when you're going to give it stuff, and it knows when you're not going to give it stuff. And when it knows you're not going to give it stuff, then it will say, okay, well, I'll take whatever you give me.
Yeah.
And if it's fruits, then it knows you're going to give it fruits.
Yeah, I'm very aware that I'm an addict, and it's almost...
But that's not a problem, because it's a gradual evolution. Don't try and stop it.
It's still troubling for me.
Why is it troubling for you? Because it's inconvenient?
Because I'm eating, I know why I'm eating, which is just to stop the detox process. And,
then you have a choice.
Yeah.
Then you have a choice. And I know I'm going to sound like a butthole, but you have a choice. You either grow some balls and get on with it, and stop. If you know you're doing it, stop and grow some balls and plow on through, regardless, come what may, or you can keep doing it. But if you're going to keep doing it, stop bitching about it.
I know, huh?
Yeah.
My whole little thing is well, if I just do
Young lady.
then I can do the next thing. I'm getting my tooth pulled tomorrow, the mercury filling. If I just get my tooth out, then I can do the heavy metal detox, and then the transition to Liquidarianism won't be so hard. But it's almost like I'm just arguing with myself for a reason not to do the next step. But I do feel good about getting this tooth out, that it will probably help.
Why are you planning the next step? You shouldn't plan the next step, because you don't know the next step. Your body plans the next
My
step.
body is begging me to get off food, but mentally, I feel like I have to plan, like, how will I pay my rent if I don't have a job? You know what I mean? So that's
What's that got to do with your food?
Well, what it's got to do with is because I've fasted before, I know how weak I get. I know I won't be able to go to work. And so basically I feel like I need to get to a point where I don't have to go to work. I know.
Why are you making this so hard?
I don't know.
Huh? Why are you making it so damn hard, girl?
I don't know.
It ain't really that hard, beautiful.
But you
It ain't really that hard.
now that you're where you
Because
are,
you go slowly. You don't plan anything. You don't plan anything. If you want to eat, you eat. The body will tell you when to reduce. You have to have faith. And that's another thing that people overlook is faith. You have to submit, completely submit, get the ego out of the way,
how do I do that?
get the labels at the breatharian, get all that out of the way, and just say, right, okay, whenever. And you know, even though it looks like you're having a great old time and you're binging on fruit and stuff, it's not. It's not like that. The body does know what it wants, and eventually it will kick in. Okay?
Okay.
Because you will get bored of living that lifestyle mentally, because your mind will get complacent, and then the body will kick in. The body will take every opportunity it can to get in there while the mind's asleep, while the mind's complacent. Alright? I know that sounds like a simplified way of explaining it, but it's the only way I can think of to explain it. Alright? Because the body is always looking to do the best it can. Always. Even though you think, oh, well, I'm just doing this, I'm just eating, it's been so long. So what? It takes so long. It takes so long.
Yeah.
It's really not, it's unusually long. It takes an unusually long time, Crystal. Again, it's something that people just don't take into consideration. They think, well, come on already, I should have been this, I should have been that. I should have been breatharian by now, but no, it takes an unusually long, agonizing time to get to where you want to get to. The body has to go through adjustments, you have to go through lessons, you have to learn your way. If you don't learn how to deal with people, then you're going to have to come back and learn some other time.
What? You mean I can't just be a hermit for the rest of my life?
No, you can't. You have to learn how to deal with people getting up your ass.
I know, it's so challenging.
And that's your own universe lesson from the universe. It's not just about food, girl.
Yeah.
It's about you as a whole person. It's about you having a purpose on the planet and everything else. And you have to fulfill your purpose. You have to be the example. You have to learn the trade. And you have to go through your process. And the patience is something that comes with it too. Again, it's something people pay no attention to whatsoever.
Yeah.
Patience. It's excruciating. And you have patience.
I know I'm here to work on patience, but it's challenging.
Say that again to me.
I said I know that I'm here to work on patience, but it sure is challenging.
What is it?
I know that I'm
What
here.
is it?
It's challenging.
What is it? It's challenging, right?
Yep.
Exactly. It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be easy, girl. So you have to, the quicker you get over it, the quicker you move on. You're always going to have challenges too. Always.
Yeah, it's not like you get done and then you're done.
Nah, it's just different challenges, but
Yeah.
you learn how to deal with them. Once you learn how to deal with them, then they don't bother you anymore. They're no longer challenges. They're just bits of fun. You can play with them.
Yeah.
But you have to learn how to deal. You have to learn how to deal with them. You know, like the whole fasting thing. It's not a challenge. That's not a challenge. That's just you not knowing, getting your parts of the process mixed up. That's all. Once you unravel everything and you realise that, hey, there are steps to this, and you realise and understand the steps, then they're not challenges anymore.
Just a hard ass step.
Yeah, just a cleansing. Seriously, that's all there is to it. The hardest part is realising that it lasts for so long. It goes on and on and on. It's like it's almost there to wear you down.
It is. Well, I mean, obviously.
But that's how you build your character. That's how you learn the trade, girl.
Yeah.
You know, it's an immense task what we're doing with the body. It is. It's titanic, and people don't realise how titanic this is. It's probably the hardest thing anybody's ever going to go through in their life.
Do you still experience emotional cleansing, or do you feel really good now?
Of course I do. People piss me off all the time.
Yeah.
And I have to cleanse from that.
Oh, wow.
It never stops. You just learn how to deal with it. And you have to learn how to deal with it. You wouldn't last 2 minutes as a breatharian.
No.
If you went breatharian and you wanted to go breatharian, you wouldn't last 2 minutes. These people out here will eat you up and chew you out in 2 seconds. I'm telling you.
Oh God, the things they say just totally piss me off right now. It's like they have no, like, what I don't understand is why, it makes perfect sense to me. So why do different people have a different state of mind where it can't make sense to them at all? But they just say this.
Because they're addicted. They're still addicted. This is what cuts the wheat from the chaff. What you just said there. You see those people there? Alright? They are desensitized. They don't feel, they're dead. Alright?
Yeah.
You on the other hand are going through the process. Alright? You're coming back from the dead. Can you imagine what that takes? The dedication and commitment that takes to come back from the dead.
Yeah, you really can't explain it to people.
To get your body back to function. It's an immense task, and most people cannot do it. They cannot do it mentally or physically. They cannot do it, and will never do it. They will never be able to do it. That's how big this thing is.
It's huge, I know.
So really, you have to, instead of treating them as problems, you have to really say, you know what, body, I take my hat off to you, and I totally respect where I'm at right now, and I totally respect what you're doing for me, and I'm in awe of you. And you have to take your hat off to the universe and be so grateful that you are where you are right now. Because so many people cannot and would not never have gotten where you are now. And you experience these people all the time. That's why those people are so angry, that's why those people say such stupid things. Because they can never be where you're at. Mentally or physically or otherwise. Never. So it's a whole different shift in perspective of looking at this.
Yeah, you need to shift your perspective. That's true. You need to be more grateful.
Once you learn how to deal with things, once you learn your trade, learn your lessons. Because once you learn your lessons, they're extremely hard lessons, Crystal. Extremely hard lessons, and the universe doesn't pull any punches.
Nope.
It doesn't. It doesn't give you any respite. It doesn't give you any peace. You've got to learn your lessons there on the spot. If you don't, pass and come back again until you pass those lessons, until you learn those lessons. Trust me, I know this. And then once you pass those stupid, piddly little lessons, you go on to the next one. But they get more important and they get better, more rewarding once you pass them. And they really do. And like I say, even the little piddly ones have so much of a reward once you pass them. And then once you pass enough, you start to see the pattern, you start to see the sense, you start to learn, you start to trust, you start to have faith, more faith in your process, in your personal process. That's why I've said for years for people to stop asking other people questions and learn their own truth. But it's hard for people to understand. It's hard for people to understand though unless they don't live it, unless they live it themselves. It's hard for people to live it.
That's
It's so hard to live.
Because even where I'm at, like, you know, people, like, I can see the pattern of where I've evolved from. I mean, I can remember being dead, basically, as you described it, and, like, not being aware. And then to be where I'm at and to be able to look backwards and to see where people are and to try to understand why they can't understand what I'm saying is because they've never experienced it, but they'll never experience it because they're not willing. You know what I'm saying?
And it's because they don't have a proper understanding.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you've seen these people who's fly-by-nights that get into the raw thing, and they think it's great because they think it's just having raw pizzas all day and stuff.
Oh, yeah. I was there. I was
there
when they get them.
When they find out there's work to do, it's like, oh shit.
They go back to cooked food. I have a lot of friends that have done that.
Yeah. And then they curse out cooked food, but it's just because they don't have an understanding. They're still thinking of pleasure.
Yeah, all the excuses are just like, you know what, I don't even want to talk about it. I can't get enough calories without too much fat or yada yada. It's just like you're not willing to do what's next.
But Crystal, this is war. This is war and you're in the trenches. Simple and plain. And you have to stay in there for a while. You have to. There's nowhere else to go. You think about all those World War II and people in the trenches, they couldn't go and say, hey, stop the world, I want to get off. You know, they had to stay in the trenches, else they either live or they die, they had to stay in the trenches. And it's the same, you know, with us. You know, I've got to go through my stuff. Every season change. I've got to go through my cleanse out what I've taken in for the season. You know, pollution or whatever, just like everybody else has to. So I go through it too. I go through my stuff. But I know I've got to buckle down. I know in the winter I've got to just shut down and just hibernate. I know that, so I do it. You know, all these people look at me as this buff, fitness dude, muscles and stuff, and I'm not that person. They expect me to put on a show when they see me, with this whole fitness thing and take off my clothes and all this stuff. You know, I'm not that. I have all these people on Facebook, young guys with no tops on, these raw fruitarian guys who want to be the next fruitarian fitness trainer, you know, with no tops on, wanting me to be their friend on Facebook. They look like the village people. So it's you know, and I'm not that person at all. And again, it comes down to understanding. Again, most people do not take the time to understand my work or understand me as a person or understand that I evolve. I'm constantly evolving. It's down to understanding, and you have to understand your movement, your rate of evolution. You have to start recognizing, Crystal, how fast you're going, where you're going, where you stop, what blockages you have, what stops you. Are you getting in your own way? Is your understanding getting in your own way? What is stopping you from getting to where you want to get to? And you have to be brutal with yourself. The universe is pretty brutal, and you have to be brutal to yourself, because you have your own self to judge. Nobody else can judge you. I can't judge you. Nobody.
Right.
You have to be brutal with yourself. Just like I said to you, you've got two choices: either fall for the illusion of emotions and stab yourself in the foot and quit, or you grow some balls and get on with it. It's like Winston Churchill said, when you're going through hell, keep going.
Yeah, you don't want to stay there. You want to go through.
Exactly, you don't want to stay there because you're in the trenches, so you don't want to stay there. Keep moving, girl.
Right.
So, you know, this I will tell you, it is hell. And it is like you're never going to get out of it. It's like there is no light at the end of the tunnel, no matter how long you have been walking. But that's how it is. It's a long journey, a very, very long journey. That's why I tell people 15 years, at least look at 15 years of consistent cleansing, of consistent raw foods, of consistent juice, of consistency. Nothing short of 15 years. And when I tell people 15 years, they laugh their asses off at me. They think I'm a fool.
Yeah, we live in fast food society. We want the quick fix.
Yeah. But that's how it is, girl. And you know, you just have to, the biggest thing is just make sure you're safe.
Yeah.
And listen to intuition. If at any time you think that you're in danger, then take a step back. You don't have to eat cooked foods, but just take a step back.
Right.
And reevaluate the situation until your intuition is satisfied that you're safe again. Because that's one thing with me, is that I never felt any danger at any time.
Yeah.
At any time.
If you're paying attention, go ahead.
Yeah.
Your pain is related to what you're going through, so you can kind of tell how much pain you can handle.
Right, so we already know.
Yeah, for me, I have a lot of heavy metals because they radiated my thyroid when I was 15, and then the fillings that they put in your teeth, the tattoos. You know, I played with mercury when I was a kid. I would think about how stupid that was. And so I know my body's just polluted, but so much I've detoxed already that, you know, at least I feel good on fruit. And I mean, just that switch was a big detox, and I had already went through a lot of detox just going well.
Well, just what you said there, it just tells me that you should celebrate that.
Yeah.
You should always take time to celebrate where you're at, always. Otherwise, it just gets to be a grind. It just gets to be, you know, just like you don't appreciate, or you miss the bright parts, the bright moments.
Right.
You know, your body's already done so much for you, just to get you this far. You're still alive. You're still breathing.
Yeah. Thanks for pointing that out, because I curse my body too much, and I should be more.
Oh, you should celebrate your body. Become friends with your body, and I swear, you know, your body will talk to you more.
Yeah.
You know, your connection to your body will grow more. You start praising it. You start celebrating it. You start, you know, giving it some understanding. Because, you know, this is such a, I can't even I can't even find words to tell you how hard this is. If you think it's hard now,
Yeah.
this is why learning your trade is so important.
I don't think it's hard right now. I think I'm not going into the hard part. I think I'm...
No, you're scratching the surface, girl.
Yeah, I think
This is why it's important you learn your trade and understand you need to learn the trade, because it gets brutal. It gets brutal. It gets brutal, and you will have to face every single fear, every single emotion that comes out of your body before it leaves your body. You will have to face it, face to face, head to head, and it will blow your mind. You talk about illusions, you will have to face your illusions, and instead of holding on to them, fearing them, you will have to let go of them, release them.
What do you make of all the liquidarians who say they did the 21-day process and it wasn't very hard? Are they dumb?
I don't think about them. I'm not them. They're not me.
Yeah.
I don't know what they've done. I don't even listen to what they say anymore. I just take care of myself. People say a lot of things and you don't really know what they're doing.
That's true.
It's like a lot of these breatharians that say they're breatharians. They're not really breatharians.
I know a lot of them eat.
They just stretch the definition. So it's no point getting involved in what they say. You have to take, your journey is going to be hard enough. You ain't got time to be bothering about what other people say, other people's experiences. You do not have time.
Right.
You haven't earned the right yet.
That's true.
You really have not earned the right to take time out and be bothered about what other people are talking about. Talk is cheap. You really have to focus on getting your shit together. You really do. Because you're going to have to face stuff. And you're going to have to get a good understanding quick. The more time you spend investing in yourself, the better. Trust me. And you need to do that. You need to invest in yourself. Don't worry about what anybody, what everyone else is doing is bullshit. As far as you're concerned. Seriously, it's just bullshit. If anybody says stuff, they're talking bullshit. Because you know your own personal truth, and that's all that matters. Once you've figured your game out, that's your personal truth. You don't have to worry about anybody else. You don't have time. You really don't. There's going to be times, I can laugh about it now. There's going to be times where, for me, even getting to breatharianism, the beginning stages of breatharianism, and getting water free, there's things you're going to have to face. Conditioning, deep conditioning, and you won't realize how deep these things are until you have to come face to face with them. You're talking about trade, my preferred trade in Dallas and Mexico, two of the hottest places you can get. Well, this night, two very hot places.
It's very hot.
Yeah.
But at that point, were you comfortable on water? I mean, when you were just...
It's not about being comfortable on anything. It's about facing your conditioning.
Okay.
You have to do that. At any given moment, things pop up. You're never safe.
Yeah.
Never.
Well, I mean, just now I feel like my body is doing some real deep cleansing where I feel weird pains and stuff, and I already have like structural pains and my skeletal system is out of alignment. But other like organ pains and stuff, but it doesn't scare me because I feel comfortable knowing that I'm cleansing. Where if I was not in the state of mind I am now today. If I was younger or something, I might go to the hospital and be like, "What's wrong with me?" But I feel
Well,
like
just make sure nothing is wrong with you.
yeah.
You know, if you have issues, medical issues, then make sure you have somebody you can go to and say, well, how am I doing? You know, just for, I don't know, validation or confirmation or whatever, but just make sure if you feel the need to, that you have someone you can trust. You know, if you don't feel the need to, then that's okay. But just, you know, if, because, you know, you're going to feel pains, you're going to feel reactions, you're going to feel stuff.
Yeah, I feel like it's normal. I feel like if I went to a doctor, they would just confuse me. Or confuse themselves.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. But yeah, it's hard work. And it's, you know, for a very long time. And you have to knuckle down and just get on with it. Just deal. It is so hard that it can seem like, you know, nothing's ever gonna happen.
Yeah, but it feels like I don't have an alternative, like, you know what I mean?
There isn't.
There
Just have to
isn't.
go.
You just are where you are. Going backwards doesn't work, it makes it worse. And so you just...
Yeah, so you already know.
Some days it's just like, I wish I never started this, but I'd be dead probably.
The main point I want to get across to you is that it's hard. You may get some moments in the future where you think, I just can't go on. Or like, you know, just totally lose focus.
And then what?
You know?
You just kind of lay there and stuff yourself?
You just, yeah, of course. And then once you've been past that, that's your personal truth. You know that, okay, I got past it. Wow. There is life after that point. And then you do it again and again and again until you reach a point where it's like, wow, I've been through it, I've done it. I now feel comfortable in myself, I feel healthy, I feel energy, I can wake up and get out, do whatever I want to do. I don't feel confined to the bed anymore. I have energy. Because all of a sudden it will creep up on you. You won't notice it, but you notice that day by day you're doing more and more. Whereas before you were stuck in bed, or you had times where you were stuck in bed.
Right. And that's just the body.
But it's just those times where you have to, you know, it's not where you feel sick and you feel in danger. That's where you get help. But when you feel times where, you know, you're just exhausted and you feel like you feel good, but you just feel like you've got stuff to do, then you just have to go to bed. Just pass those times off. Go to bed, start again tomorrow. You know, the times where you have to work, then you just eat through if you have to. Just get through the time.
Right.
Just get whatever you need to do to get through, to do what you have to do. And that's it. And when you get a chance to, then you'll have a chance to do what you really want to do. Fast or whatever, or you know, or whatever. But you just do what you got to do. And either way you turn, like you already know now, you just got to grin and bear it. Young lady.
Yes. I hear ya.
And that's pretty much the size of it. It's not nice. It's not happy joy, but it's, you know, it is very rewarding and it's very liberating when you actually do it. You know, you're never going to stop, because that's just not the way it is. You're always going to be cleansing something, or it's going to be, evolving. So, but it gets much, much easier. In fact, it gets virtually non-existent. It really does, and it is so liberating and rewarding when you know that you've come from one side to the other side. It really is. When you know that you've done things that nobody else would do. You've endured things that nobody else would.
And yeah, that knowing is what's guiding me, without a doubt.
Then celebrate that. You have so many things to be grateful for. You really have so many things to celebrate, because not a lot of people get what you get. They really don't. Most people don't see what you see.
And it's lonely.
Yeah, they get tough shit.
I know.
Tough.
Yeah.
It's the way it is, girl. It's the way it is. Just be glad you're not me.
Why?
Because nobody will understand what the hell you're talking about.
You poor thing.
I know. The universe knows that I don't really care, so it picked the right person. So you just have to deal with it and learn the lessons and make fun. That's the deal we in the universe have. I do this job as long as I can have my own fun. So I get my own fun. So same to you, girl. Get over it. And you're actually in more control than you think. You're actually in a lot more control than you ever think. You have everything at your feet already. You're already perfect, as you already are. You don't have to do anything else. You're already perfect. You're already a goddess. You already have everything you need inside. Everything. You just have to get that crap out of the way and start asking stuff. Huh?
I said if I could just access that part of me, I lost the password.
Yeah. a lot of stuff you ain't even supposed to know.
Yeah.
You ain't supposed to know a lot of stuff. So quit looking. Just leave it and ask for a bunch of stuff. And you'll get it. You already have everything. You already know everything. And that's pretty much, the side of everything. Sounds really easy, but
No, I know what you're saying. Like I do. I just keep looking when I already know what to do.
yeah. Yeah.
The addict mind. The crazy ego, chatter brain, always getting in the way of just being.
And that comes back to the lessons. Learning lessons. Because you will change. You have to change. You can't be the same person and be a breatharian.
Right.
Okay. As you were when you were cooked. It just won't work out.
Right.
You have to divorce yourself, who you were, to become somebody new. You have to get rid of all that baggage, all that old conditioning.
The story
The
of
story.
being tired of.
Old takes.
Yeah.
You have to get rid of all of that. Let go of it all and stuff like that. And not worry about stuff and celebrate your beautiful self and be who you are. Be who you really are. That's what you got to do.
It sounds so easy.
I know, it is easy, isn't it? It's dead easy. Only when you know only when you understand the process. The hardest part is acting it out, and living it, and taking action. That's the hardest part.
I think it's the
And
hardest
accepting it. Yeah. But it's possible. Definitely possible. Most definitely possible.
For sure. Well, thank you for spending this time with me.
You paid for it, girl.
I know.
I have a big apology to make to you. It's just, you know, everything is popping up for some strange reason now. And it's so hard to find time because everybody all planning it. And it's whatever drops down, you know, that I can deal with, so I never know what's happening now. And so thank you so much for your patience.
Yeah, no worries.
And you know, you are very special, and you will get to where you want to get to. You really will. You're already so far. You already have what you need. You already have. In fact, you have a very strong understanding already. So you have more understanding than most. Than 90%, 95% of people. So you know, you already have everything. Already. In fact, you know, what you're doing is you kind of have to go back and redo some lessons, and I think that's what's going on with you. But that's your shit. Haha.
Yeah, emotional purging, childhood anger crap. But, I mean, I agree with you that it's toxicity. So at the same time that it's coming up, I am trying to, you know, like, be understanding of it. Like, I'm purging toxins.
And celebrate everything.
Yeah.
Celebrate everything. If you kick your toe on the curb, celebrate it. I'm serious. Celebrate it. Just replace all that with love for yourself. If you need to buy yourself something, do it. You need to treat yourself to something, do it.
That's my
In any way. Even if it's picking a flower for yourself, do it. Because I say that, Crystal, because you're gonna get enough. You're gonna get enough of that to last you a lifetime. Alright, of all the detoxing, the emotional purging, you're gonna get enough of that to last you 2 lifetimes.
Yeah.
It's, you know, you're gonna have to deal with it, and you're gonna have to find some way of replacing that. Because you have to live life at the end of the day. You have a life to live at the end of the day. And you can't, it's just not worth living it like, you know, incomplete detox. So do something about it now. You have the understanding, you know, you've asked the universe brought you me, so do something about it now. You need to do something, you need to start acting on it. Because like I say, there's going to be no rest.
Right.
There's going to be no rest at all for you. It's like a war. You have to be strategic. So fill your life up with what you need to do to get this job done. Celebrate yourself, celebrate everything. Find things to be grateful for. Love yourself. Do things that represent you and loving yourself. Well, you know, the past is the past. You can't control that. Now it's gone. Do things that represent love for yourself as much as you can. Every day of the week. Every minute of the day. And do it. Make sure you do it. And that's the Jericho Sunfire hour. Advice hour. Agony out. You know. And I hope it's been useful.
It has. Thank you.
You're still in the same place you were before, but at least now you know you got to put your hard hat on.
Yeah. That's my
And
hard
that's,
hat.
yeah. But you'll do it.
Yeah. A couple of good perspective changes, definitely.
Huh?
I said that was worth a couple of good perspective changes, definitely.
Ah, good. Yeah, but you got to take action.
Yep.
And you'll find your own stuff to do. You'll find your own ways. You know, you'll once you start to pick up on your own intuition and you see the patterns and your successes, you'll find ways to continue being successful.
Yeah, celebrating the successes instead of like,
yeah.
come
You know,
on, the next level.
every day that you wake up is a success.
I do feel like that. Maybe
Yeah.
not in the way you, but
Yeah.
for me it's just like, I'm in a grind right now. So,
Yeah.
just waking up is pretty much a success.
Exactly. Every morning I say thank you for allowing me to wake up. Thank you for me waking up. You have to, you know. It's something you must do. Well, sweetheart, until next time, I shall catch you later. It's late here.
Yeah, I just gotta get my day started.
And you gotta get your day started. So start your day, girl.
Yep. Okay, thank you.
And be good. If you can't be good, don't get caught.
Okay.
If you get caught, I was drunk. It wasn't me.
Yeah. I have a twin.
Alright. Well, you be good, okay? I'll catch you later.
Many blessings. Good night.
You too.
Bye.
Take care, bye-bye.